Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and today I thought I'd do something slightly different and assemble and paint this model from Tabletop Workshop. This is their medieval chapel, which comes in 28mm or 1/56 scale. So yes, I picked this kit up from their website. It cost £20.99, although I did get it when they were doing a salute discount deal. So let's have a look at the box. First of all, you've got a nice picture of the actual chapel itself. Looks fairly straightforward. Not much more to say on here really. Very little else on the box at all. Mandatory choke warnings, etc. Inside the box, you can see it's this this hard plastic form, which doesn't come in lots of different bits, which is great for a fat-fingered oaf like me. Not much of a modeler, so really pleased with that. So let's have a look what we've got in here. We've got two sides. That looks like that's a front. That's a roof. That's another side. That's a floor, and that's a roof. So you get 2, 4, 6, 7 bits to assemble this. So as I say, even a fat-fingered old fool like me should be okay. And it looks, there's a little bit that needs trimming off there, just to pick that. Make sure the seams are absolutely perfectly good. Rest of it looks in pretty good nick. That one's also got the same place on the other side. That must be a bit of a weakness in the mould, I'm guessing, if it's the same sort of thing. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I am a fantastic modeler, but the one thing I do know, you need to spend a little bit of time checking that it all goes together and there's no little defects. Like that. Whoops. This knife isn't the best in the world. Is there a similar one on that side? There we go. I think that looks alright. So we'll have a little bit of a dry fit first. So these have got lugs at the bottom, which clearly go into the, like that, slide in. Still got a bit of that plastic there. Still got a bit there. Let's just get rid of that. There we go. Right, so which way around? So you can see there's another, I don't know whether you can see that, hopefully you can. There's a hole in the side there which corresponds to that. Okay, so that obviously goes the other side because that doesn't fit right. Let's try that. This is why you dry fit. There we go. Yeah, so it has to go so this end, each end has to go a particular side because otherwise it won't fit. So it's like that. And this one will go in there. Like so. Where's my other end? And that will go in there. Okay, good. Right, let's get some glue and put this together. Right, I've got my Revel Contact Professional here. Professional, there's a laugh. So we're going to start. It looks like you need to do the walls first. So let's do that then. gone together reasonably well. Just hold that together. There's no clicking that needs to happen. So the important thing is make sure you've got the right end on the right end, if you see what I mean. Right, the roof. This again, it's fairly straightforward. You've just got a bit that goes into there, like so. Like that. Okay, let's just do that then. So we'll run some glue down there here. Lovely. Just have to make sure that that gap, you can just about see there's a gap there. Just to make sure we minimise that as much as possible by putting a little bit of pressure on the joint. Yes, if I let go it pops open, so we'll see whether we need super glue on that rather than contact glue. Maybe a sensible way to go, just to make sure that that properly sticks down. Because what I could put the roof on the building, but I kind of like the idea of having it so I can lift it off. So I'm going to make sure this roof sits properly together. I might get some super glue on that. Right, so that's the building assembled. Even Dom can do it, so there you go. Dom-proof building, stage 1. So next up, I'm going to let this dry, and then I am going to undercoat it, and we'll come back and see what we do next. Okay, just an update. I've used my super glue on this because I do not like that crack that keeps appearing. Now if I let go, it pops open again. This is actually not great, and if you do it without putting it on the roof, you don't get the distance right. So it's a bit of a problem actually. Bit of a problem. You can see underneath there's still quite a crack there, which I don't like at all, because that's only going to be clearer and clearer once I paint it. Now I know I can fill it, but I would have hoped that would fit snugger. I've got some super glue activator. Let's see whether that helps. But yeah, I'm not happy about that. See if that sticks it this time. There you go. Well, at least that seems to have stuck it. Stuck it. So yeah, super glue. That seems to be the way to go to keep that crack down to a minimum. And is there a way round with that? No, that just seems to sit either way round. All right, I'm going to undercoat this, and then we'll come back and do some painting. Right then, that is done. I used just a straight, this is just a light grey spray from Vallejo, which I just did all over the body. Now, in hindsight, it may have been better to have painted all the sides and everything before I put it all together, because then I can get into the doors and things. But reality is I'm not really going to take the lid off very often, so I'm not so bothered by that. But if you're thinking that you're going to be taking the roof off and utilise the internal space, I mean, not that it's got any active doors or windows, you might want to do that first, but hey ho. Also for the tiles on the roof, in my case I just used Halford's khaki paint here, just because I'm going to do this a slightly different colour to the body of the church. So first up, what I'm going to do with this very knackered old brush, I'm going to use AK Interactive Deep Shade, and I'm just going to use it as a wash to go over the entire building and then let that dry thoroughly. So we'll be back. So there we are. The chapel has dried off thoroughly. The wash has been applied. You can see sort of the dirty look to this. Yeah, I'm kicking myself. I didn't a little bit. I didn't paint it before I'd assembled it, but certainly the inside would have been made life a lot easier. But I'm not going to put a huge amount of effort in the inside because, as I said before, I'm probably not going to use it with the roof off very often. There you go. See, with the khaki spray, is added a different colour base to it. So next up, what I'm going to do is dry brush the whole thing using a sort of grey colour. So I've got this camouflage grey from Humbrol. It's an acrylic paint. I mean, any kind of lighter grey will probably do it nicely. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to sort of drag brush it over the top, and yeah, I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Right, so that's done. You can see I've drag brushed all the way in and out. I've also done the door, the benches on the inside using Wildwood contrast paint. I've done the windows. I've just used a contrast black Legion just to get in. I just want to get over them first of all. I'm going to try and drag brush or dry brush over the top to try and accentuate the fittings, I guess, within the window at a later date. So that's the building progressing. The roof, I want them to have tiled roof, so I used Gilliman's Flesh. Yeah, I used Gilliman's Flesh quite heavily over the roof and over that khaki colour. It gives a nice tone like that. So I won't bother doing the underneath because, as I say, I'm not really going to take the roof off very often. But that seems a bit better now. I was wondering if I was going to have to fill it, but I think it's actually going to be all right. So next up, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get the old dry brush out, and I'm going to work on the roof while it's while that one's dry and while the windows are still drying on this. So I'm going to dry brush. Going to be using a sandy colour. There we go. Very old bottle. Early sand yellow. I'm going to use that with this makeup brush and just dry brush all over this. Very lightly give it a bit of tonality, a little bit of that, and the colours that you get, the different variety of colour you get from the contrast paint on the underneath should actually give it a bit of texture, which is what I'm looking for. And once I've done that, I'm going to go and pick out all the stonework around the windows, around the eaves here, around the middle here, around the doors on this. I'll see how much of them I do on the inside. I probably won't do too much of the inside ones because, yeah, it was a bit daft really. I should have looked about it, thought about it better, but never mind. It is what it is. We can still make it look good. So I'll be back when all that's done. Right, progress update. The dry brushing of the roof has gone pretty well, I think. Quite happy with how that looks. Not sure whether I'll put a wash on it yet. Probably will do at some point. While I had the dry brushing, I did the doors, also dry brushed them on both sides. You can see I've also picked out all the stone, or the different coloured stones, using that, I guess it's a field grey colour. Also picked out the hinges using a copper colour. It looks quite bright at the moment, but it will be toned down. And also I assume it's where the candles were inside there. And also the altar is all done. So I think what I'm going to do now is use, I'm going to get my trusty Nuln oil out, and I'm going to wash basically everywhere I've just freshly painted. So all this darker grey, I'm going to do. The windows I'll probably do again, the woodwork I'll probably do it again, and I'll just do all of that using the non-oil on basically on a neat basis. And yeah, I think that should dull it down a bit, and then we'll probably have one more stage before the end. Right, coming together rather nicely now. I think you can see that's putting that wash on has dulled down all the that grey, so it's a sort of a more sort of yeah, just a matter looking grey, which I think it's worked quite well. I'm quite happy with that. Right, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my ever useful deck tan. This is AK deck tan, and I am going to lightly dry brush the whole model. Right, that's all been done. Just take some of the edges off it, I think, which is why I like that dry brush at the end. So I think the final thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to overdo it too much, there's a tendency, I've done it in the past with adding extra washes and all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to use one. I'm going to get the Agrax Earthshade out, and I'm going to, because this is sort of a browny, dirty colour, and I'm just going to put this around places where you'd expect kind of rain to, or dirt to collect. So around the window sills, down the edge of the window there, on the top, across here, that kind of thing. Just to let that, again, just to make it not look quite so perfect. If you're looking for a perfect thing, then you probably come into the wrong place anyway, but you might want to leave this stage out. Now you notice, hopefully you can notice, there you go, you can notice it better on this one, that last dry brush at the end has picked up all the lattice checker thing, whatever it's called, on the windows without us having to paint it. So I think that worked out quite nicely. Anyway, let's get this done. I'll show you what it looks like. And there you are, that's the finished chapel. I gave it a matte varnish just to sort of dull it down a bit more. I also find that sort of brings the colours together. And I just really like the effect it has on it. So quite pleased with how this has come out in the end. I think it's got the look I wanted. It's sort of a rustic chapel. They're generally... they try and keep the chapels in the best repair, or the churches in the best repair they could in medieval times, because you're looking after your mortal soul, so to speak. But there's a bit of dirt and stuff collected, and grime collected over the years, but not hopefully too much. And I think it comes out very nicely. Now, as a kit, this is dead simple. Even a fool like me, well, I was going to say even a fool like me managed to put together, but actually in hindsight I should have painted it before I put it together. So learn from my lesson if you're going to be using the interior a lot more than I will be. I painted the interior and it's okay, it looks fine, but would have made my life a lot easier not having to reach through the middle to try and paint if I'd had it all just sort of done and then assembled afterwards. But as I say, it's mainly going to be a centerpiece on some of my medieval games, those sort of large battles where it's just a functional feature rather than actually a building you're going to skirmish in, because actually there aren't any open windows on this at all. It's all modelled with them closed as they are. But like the look of it. Really pleased with the outcome. It's given me what I wanted, so job's a good one. I'll do a few more pictures at the end to show you what it looks like in sort of situ. But meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful, interesting. If you did, please share, subscribe, all that good YouTubey stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below how you would have approached this. I'd be really interested. Everyone has the different ways. And while you might not necessarily have exactly the same paints as me or washes as me, I'm sure you can adapt it along, you know, in your own sweet way. And hopefully I've got enough grime and dirt on it without overdoing it. Anyway, as I say, thank you for watching. See you all again soon. This is Dom, signing out.